What's up guys, Devil Dog Gamer here. Today we're showing off a new game called Nuclear War Simulator. Now this isn't really a game. This is actually a tool that was created by universities and used by them to study the effects of nuclear war and fallout on civilian and infrastructure populations, and is really in-depth. And we're going to show you how in-depth it actually is. There's a lot you can do. You can actually play it kind of like a game, but you can do a lot of other things. So we're going to actually roll on in here to DC, and I'm going to show you. We're going to drop people. So we're going to drop someone down here in DC who is basically outside in their vehicle. We're going to drop another one out in DC. This person's going to be out in their vehicle, and this person's going to be in a two-story wood frame building. And we're quickly going to run over here. We're going to take a Russian nuclear warhead. Let's do a Satan, 750 kiloton. And we're going to drop it right there in the middle of DC. Boom. Now we can study the immediate effects of that nuclear weapon. We can see the physical damage that it takes. Drop it on in here. We can see this person. This person has pretty much no radiation, but they've taken moderate injuries from glass and debris. Third-degree burns, of course, from the flash. This person right here is taking a little dose of radiation, not too bad. 31. 400 is fatal. And third-degree burns and such. This person's taken pretty much no radiation at all. Moderate damage. So we're going to go ahead and expand this a bit more. As you can see, now the fallout comes, and people are starting to take pretty massive doses of radiation. Everyone's pretty much gotten severe, serious radiation sickness, hemorrhage, and death in likely 2 to 4 weeks. This person has pretty much killed in a fire. This person is third-degree burns, mild radiation sickness. Now we're actually going to let it play a little longer and show you a little more of the effects that this actually has. So it's been about a day. We're going to go ahead and pause it, calculate casualties. As you can see, everything's pretty much on fire. 658,000 people were killed. Global cooling hasn't increased. Soot has increased a little bit. That covers the soot and stuff from the fire of the atmospheres. You can see not many airports, infrastructures were destroyed. Not much infrastructure was destroyed at all. But we can actually go here, and we can see where the fallout would spread based off of, predictable weather patterns. There's a lot you can do with this. We're going to go ahead and load a scenario. Like, let's see. Let's do... There is Rise Ops. No, I don't want to load that. No! Let's load in. This is the effects of what happens if you shelter in place after a nuclear weapon, or if you evacuate after a nuclear weapon's been deployed, showing you exactly what would happen if you didn't shelter in place. So, of course, nukes went off. We're going to pause the simulation there. There are 2 people here. We got one who is sheltering in a basement of a concrete building, a multi-story concrete, and another one who is outside on foot. So we're going to roll this so you can see exactly what would happen if you didn't shelter in place during a nuclear detonation. So he decided he wanted to keep going, got 3,500 Röntgen, extreme radiation sickness, cardiovascular nervous system failure, certain death within 2 days, already incapacitated. And the reason for that is, well, fallout travels. Uses the wind, it travels. See? This person's perfectly safe. Got the outside rate of Röntgen per hour is 214. They're only receiving 2.14, making it a total they've only gotten 39. There's a lot of tools in this to kind of study nuclear war, nuclear weapon detonations, and what their effects actually are. Of course, you can actually play it like a game if you want to. So we're going to do mutually assured destruction. This will actually play out is if both nations, Soviets and Americans, decided they just wanted to launch all of their nuclear weapons pretty much immediately. So we're going to just drop people around too. So I'm going to drop somebody near London, someone in Paris, over here in Ireland we'll drop a few people, somebody up here in New York, someone near DC. Let's go for the Midwest. These are all the missile silos here. We can actually target all of these if we want to. We'll just drop people in different major cities. These are all the aircraft. We can actually specifically target these aircraft here if we want to. We can take these B-52s that are carrying cruise missiles, normal cruise missiles. And we can go here if we want to the missile silo fields. These are the command silos for them. And these are the actual silos. We can target each of these Minutemen warheads if we want to. But they're already pre-targeted. And Russia, we're going to take control of the United States. So we're going to start it and show you guys what will happen. We're going to put it at a 22% increase in speed here. So you can kind of see where it's happening. See all the aircraft are outbound. This is Ingalls Air Base, where all the nuclear aircraft are. These are their silo fields. They have silo fields here. All the the mobile ICBMs are out pretty much all around the Urals. Silo field here. Pretty large silo field here. The rest are all the road mobile ICBMs. As you can see, the opening salvo has started with pretty much everything. America has launched every freaking nuke they possibly have. And they are outbound. Russia hasn't detected them yet, but as you can see, they're closing in. Moscow does have anti-ballistic missile forces, like that they can shoot down ballistic missiles using nuclear weapons, but guess what? Doesn't work very well. Russia hasn't responded yet, but as you can see, pretty much everything's being hit. All the road mobiles are surviving because, well, they're road mobile. The nukes aren't going to target them very well. All of their ballistic missile forces are surviving somehow. Silos are pretty defensible. As you can see, America just unleashed havoc upon everything. These are thousands and thousands of MIRVs from ICBMs, SLBMs, just everywhere, destroying everything that they possibly can. Russia finally starts their retaliatory attack, too. Not sure how they're going to pull that off. All they have is road mobile and submarine forces right now, it seems like, and their airborne forces. Once an aircraft is launched with a nuclear weapon, it's going to continue on and carry out its order. Its base has been destroyed. So all the Topals and everything that are outbound are launching all of their nukes. Their submarines should be engaging at this point, but I don't see their submarines anywhere. But these are all the nukes going towards America now. Going over the poles. Yep, these are a few of the subs that have launched. Actually, yeah, the subs in the Arctic. Subs here in the Pacific have launched too. All of these nukes are now outbound. All of our aircraft are now outbound also to go and take this one out. Speed it up just a little bit more. It also has some very realistic scenarios at the same time. Using escalate to de-escalate, tripwire forces, launch or lose scenarios where inbound ICBMs are on your missiles and you basically have to get them out of the ground before you lose them. As you can see, this is amazingly a counter-force attack. Counter-force attacks are attacks on military and ICBM forces. Counter-value is more industrial cities, things that wouldn't really make sense unless you're just trying to destroy the country. Surprisingly, unless you're in the blast zone and you take shelter away from the fallout, nuclear war is pretty easy to survive. It's nuclear winter that is very hard to survive. Here goes all the nuclear cruise missiles targeting all counter value infrastructure. So cities, infrastructure, anything like that, they're all outbound. They don't have nuclear winter simulated at the moment, but they will in the future be able to do that. As you can see, people are starting to get sick from radiation over in here. You've already got a few that are definitely dead. We're going to let it play out so we can see the effects of nuclear winter. Slight dose of radiation. The dosage of per hour is going down. As Fallout drifts, it suddenly loses its effectiveness. 200, which is actually pretty good. Someone immediately died over here. The guy in New York absolutely got murdered. 8,000 Rotgun. Jesus. This guy's getting a little bit of slight radiation. Not much, but enough to where it'll make him sick. Everybody else is pretty good. Let's go over here and check Russia. Russia's road mobile forces have stayed pretty much good to go. Paris, a little bit of debris, first degree burns, sunburn basically. Severe radiation sickness. They will definitely die in the future. So we're going to go ahead and pause this, kick on the calculate casualties tab, and see exactly what we can do with it. This is also editable. You can make your own scenarios and control them, test out different things. There's mods people have made that put weapon systems that were theorized, like America's road mobile ICBM launcher that was scrapped after the fall of the Soviet Union. There's tons of different scenarios you can pull with this. It's really scary, realistic. It goes way above and beyond most games that have touched this. Haven't really actually done much with global cooling of the world 1.7. See, this is where you're going to be able to calculate nuclear winter model. It's a representation, not implemented at the moment, will probably be in the future, of what the world would be like in 10 years. You can go down from countries, world, all the soot. Was it terajoules or something like that? Fatalities by country. Belgium got 9,000, Bosnia 69. 67 million people in the world died from this already. And then from here we can actually go ahead, you can see the damage that these nuclear weapons, everything in the blue is a nuclear strike. We can actually go and see all the fallout. Most of, Russia is just decimated with fallout, but most of their population centers around here in this area anyways, so not too bad. Nuclear strikes on US military targets, of course the fallout will move based off of the normal wind changes. The United States, anything in the Midwest when it comes to like missile fields is usually pretty much dead skis. If you're in the Midwest, anywhere near the missile silos, you're probably going to get a ton of fallout because this is the massive target base. Vladivostok got hit pretty good. Their air base is over here. So we're going to pop out a mod that simulates a 1985 engagement based off the target list from the 80s of the Soviets. Bomber forces, pretty much everything is to the T, and really, really good. So we're going to let this play out, show you guys like what it would look like. We're going to put a few people out near the Midwest to show you the actual scale of fallout from strikes all over the missile fields, all over the Midwest, because it is absolutely insanity. There we go. This is all their early warning radars, their subs, pretty much all of Europe too. You can see Europe's already launching nukes at each other. Subs are now launching all of their Minutemen ICBMs. It is just a crash course of ICBMs at this point. It's just wild how many ICBMs are outbound. All the missile fields are getting hit. Multiple cities. This is on now. All the missile fields are outbound with their missiles, and here comes the rest of Russia's ICBMs. Absolutely decimating counterforce and counter value. So these are just straight up cities, infrastructure, military targets. Everything is of value right now. It's not just straight up, nuclear missiles targeting nuclear missiles. It's everything is of value. All the bombers or their nuclear cruise missiles are outbound all over Europe, destroying military targets, infrastructure, leadership areas. And I think that might have been the last of it. I think it's just aircraft at this point. Yeah, but all the bomber force is going over. Oh, never mind. That is still a ton of ICBMs that they're launching. They still have more. I don't know how. All the nuclear cruise missiles have been launched. I thought this was the end of it. I was wrong. They didn't do a one big volley. They're just doing it in waves. Pretty much all of Europe got decimated. Just absolutely decimated. Great Britain's basically gone at this point. All the bombers are making on their way over the Arctic. releasing weapons over Canada into the United States. That's a counter value strike, it seems. Not a lot of military targets were hit. Yeah, this seems all counter value, not counter force. So we'll let it play a little longer and we'll show the effects of Fallout. I think most of the missile forces are kind of gone. So you can go through, place all of these units, give them targets, assign battle plans, test different theories. You can do THAADs, anti-ballistic missile systems, to try different war theories. It all ends up the same. The whole world dies. But it is interesting to see it work and be in action. This is actually going to take a little while to calculate, to be honest. This is going to take a little while to calculate, because I think at least 400 to 700 million people died in the initial day or two of this. I think it's 2 weeks you need to stay in shelter at least after a nuclear strike to make sure that you don't take lethal doses of radiation. I think it's 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks safe or sorry kind of thing. Maybe 72 hours at the minimum. But that fallout spread will absolutely kill so many people. People who were downwind from a nuke didn't even know it went off. All the radios are gone from all the EMPs. There would just be people dead everywhere from radiation sickness that wouldn't even know they had radiation sickness. So it's very interesting. It's really cool to actually go and put yourself where you live, because you can go down to pretty much almost the streets where you live, let a full nuclear war play, and see if you would live or not based off of Fallout. It's a really cool tool to see what, not only to experiment to see if nuclear war is even winnable, but to see who would survive. Global cooling to 3.4 Celsius, 40 of soot. United States lost 76 million, Germany 40. Wow. Fatalities, 246 million. Wow, that's actually surprising. Canada lost 1.2. Germany lost 40 million, of course. This is Cold War. Italy 10. Let's see what Russia lost. I mean, of course, Africa's is like completely unaffected by this. 15 million in Russia. Wowzers. Let's go ahead and see the Fallout. Oh my god, dude. If you lived in anywhere in Europe, you're dead. Dude. Wow. England's pretty much gone. Russia has tons of drift here. China would get some fallout too. Japan, not so much. Whoa. Like I said, if you live in the Midwest, you're definitely done skis. Florida, not many targets in Florida, but these are all destruction areas. These are all areas that have been hit. Destruction, as you can see, the fires raging through cities. It's just a really cool tool, man. There's also a really cool scenario in this that it's pretty scary accurate of what a use of a nuclear weapon in Ukraine would result in. And we're going to do a video on that also. But this game, I wouldn't really call it a game, it's more of a tool, is really just awesome how it is in depth. I'm definitely going to keep up with this, try out scenarios and stuff, put them on the channel, and once they get nuclear winter in, just really see casualty projections on this. They even have a Skynet scenario where Skynet takes over, turns all the nuclear weapons on civilian populations. It's absolutely wild. So if you guys want to see more of this, let me know down in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.